What's up, guys? This is Omega and I'm bringing you gameplay after quite a bit of time. It's not actually my gameplay. It's a gameplay that my good friend gave to me and asked me to commentate over. And before I get too much into it, as a quick note, for those of you who have sent in suggestions for gameplay, there's one of two things that's going on. Either I haven't been able to get the gameplay yet, or I've got it and it's not as good as I would like, simply because I've mentioned before I went to a debate tournament, which I'll talk about a little bit as well, and that took up my weekend, so I didn't get to play too much. However, I still have this gameplay for you, and hopefully I can give you some tips that'll help you out with free-for-all in general. So the class setup here is a Scar, obviously, with a red dot and I believe the kick proficiency. He's got perks set up, sleight of hand, hardline, and stalker. With his kill streaks are predator missile, attack helicopter, and AC-130. So he's got a good perk set up. He's got a good gun. Oh, secondary P99, but I don't think he uses it. So it's a pretty standard setup. I would say the mistake that he made was putting on the AC-130. You have to keep in mind that in free-for-all, AC-130 is not generally a kill streak you want to run, especially because, one, the Reaper's easier to get, and two, it's better. And, I mean, I can go over the details, but that'll take up too much time. So what does my friend do right in this gameplay? For one, he does something that's pretty much the opposite of what I did in the other free-for-all game that I posted. For those of you who have seen it, great, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those of you who haven't, I would suggest you go check it out. It's a pretty good commentary. It's a nice gameplay. Not all about the kill-death ratio, but instead just about interesting gameplay that came down to a close situation. And basically what I did in that gameplay was I ran a lot. I tried to keep myself in the center of the map and to get a lot of action, but I picked up a lot of deaths in the process. Now here, what my friend does is pretty much the opposite. He doesn't run around too much. He basically patrols the outside of the map. It calls for a slightly slower paced gameplay, but nevertheless it's a short gameplay and he gets all the kills that he needs with very few deaths. Mainly because he controls the engagement the way you're supposed to, and he's not relying on simply gun skill. Although that is a big factor in this game, he is also relying a lot on just strategic advantage. So the way I see it, it comes down to there's two ways to play free-for-all effectively. And that's the no kill-death ratio way, or the high kill-death ratio way. And this is the high kill-death ratio way, and I'm going to start trying this because clearly it's pretty effective. Now the other thing he's not using is using a silencer, so he does have to continuously move, or otherwise people are just going to continuously run for revenge kills. And the way free-for-all works, as far as I'm concerned, is that if you kill someone, someone's going to spawn near you. So constant movement is a good tactic. Now let's talk about something not gameplay related, because those are pretty much the best tips I can give you for this. The debate tournament. I went to Princeton. It was a Princeton public forum debate with a resolution. It was my first big debate, so it was pretty fun. I did decently, not as well as I would have liked, but I did pretty good for my first big debate, and I had a lot of fun doing it. The person I was actually debating with is the person who got this gameplay. So yeah, so I was there. We got there. We left Friday, and we got there in about an hour and a half or so. Settled down in a hotel and basically took off from there. And for those of you who don't know, essentially what debate is it can be teams or individual or whatever you really want. But there's a resolution that's assigned, and in this case it was resolved in the United States, current income disparities threaten democratic ideals. And you don't have to worry about too much what it really means. It actually took quite a bit just to define what it means in the first place. But essentially what you have to do is argue for both it does and it doesn't. In this case, my partner and I split up. I wrote a case that said it doesn't, and all the reasons why, and he wrote a case saying it does. And as far as I'm concerned, it went pretty well. Part of the way that you get judged is through this thing called speaker points, which is basically assesses you on how well you speak, and partially, not as much though, on how good your points are. So I scored pretty high speaker points for my first time, and everything went pretty well. I mean, I don't want to go into too many details because a lot of it comes down to stuff that requires a lot of explaining. But essentially, that's what I was doing for the past 3 days, even though I missed Monday. The reason I didn't post yesterday is because I actually just didn't have the time, and school does come first over YouTube, no matter how much I like YouTube. But nevertheless, I'm back. I'm gonna try and get back on posting regularly again. Again, I take suggestions for gameplay if you want, and I know I've been a little bit slow on it to start, but as soon as I get myself set up, everything will go well, and I can hopefully get whatever you want out, and well, everything is. But that's the end of the gameplay. He gets a nice score of 30-4. It's pretty good. Definitely a lot better than the gameplay I posted. But it's just another tactic and another approach to free-for-all that clearly is a little bit more effective, but requires a little bit more patience. But if you liked it, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next commentary. And don't forget to check out his channel, which will be in the description.